Brilliant game by Hans. He's truly trying to storm the chess capital.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's interesting because chess, nonsense, and analysis.
Yes, Watu, here we are again.
Yep.
What are we looking at today?
Hans Niemann storms the capital.
Chess capital.
Chess capital.
Okay, so it's that time of the year again.
Yep.
US Chess Championships.
Yeah.
Hans is playing.
He's playing, and Hans, I think it's only a matter of time, really, before Hans takes over in the US, I think. I mean,
the guy's rise has been phenomenal.
He's definitely, I mean, he's obviously, I think, still a little bit behind the top guys, but I think it's only a matter of time.
Yes.
Give it a bit of time, and he's definitely going to be the best player in the US. But I think he wants to do it early if he can.
Mm-hmm.
He'd like to probably to win this championship. So it's very interesting. But Caruana is in the way.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say do it early while Hikaru and Magnus them are still active players.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So okay, and I think we can switch over to the board. But just to mention the standings.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they've played 4 rounds already at the US Championships.
I think Caruana is leading, right?
Caruana is leading with I think 3 out of 4,
mm-hmm.
and Hans is half a point behind.
Mm-hmm.
So Hans drew Caruana, I think, in round, I'm not sure, around 1 or 2.
Right.
So he drew against Caruana, and Hans is half a point behind him, having scored 3 draws and 1 very nice victory against Dominguez.
It's one of the favorites. I mean, actually, that point is because it's not just about in such events, because if you beat someone who everyone else is going to, when I say everyone else, I mean amongst the favorites,
yeah.
right? Then it's not really a big thing. But I mean, beating Dominguez, I mean, he's not going to lose a lot of games. So
it's a huge bonus.
It's a huge win because it puts Caruana. Have they played? Has he played Caruana?
I'm not sure if they played already.
But anyway, it puts the rest of the field under pressure. Yeah.
And just one thought also from me about Dominguez. I mean, he's an Olympiad player.
Yeah.
One of the players in the team, and we know how hard it is to make the team. So Hans making a statement over there.
Exactly.
So let's have a look at this game.
Yeah.
I checked out a part of an interview where they interviewed Hans, and he said that this was one of his nicest games played recently, at least, without any huge sacrifices. But we'll see some action.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Hans has made quite a lot of good impressions with this opening recently. Watu.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, like maybe the last couple of years, he's I would say maybe even one of the top players nowadays playing this opening. I know everybody plays it, but he's injected some life into it.
Yeah. I like, the direction, a lot of direction that this. I mean, the last one we looked at with this opening was that Gukesh game where Gukesh had thrown in an early bishop G5.
Late on sacrificed
an F7. So it's where they are, it's just, but I like it. It shows the richness of chess, and it just shows that there's still so much to be done, and I like that because you cannot just put a position and press the computer. You still have to do some digging. You still have to move pieces around, and there's still a lot to be discovered. So brilliant. Yeah.
It's kind of like they're finding so many small things in this open. It's kind of like a modern day Rai Lopez.
Exactly.
They used to try everything and small nuances. Now they're doing it in this line.
Exactly. I think slowly, very soon we're going to have something like a main line where you'll have to say, okay, I don't think it's still there yet, but where you say, okay, this is what you play. This is like the sharpest stuff, the most theoretical, and you're playing for an advantage.
Yeah.
And these you're playing for a small advantage, and things like that. But I think it will define itself since we are having so many games and it's moving so fast. The theory, no?
For sure.
Yeah.
So rook e1, a5, also a modern trend for a while now. a5, trying to keep white a bit back, not allowing him to expand. h6, knight d2. So we have some normal looking position. Bishop b5 comes with a5. Black has to accept this.
Yes.
Bishop b6. And white chases the bishop around, so a bit of a curious maneuver there, Watu, with bishop b6 and bishop c5.
Look, this must have been something that Dominguez already, because he's a huge theoretician, that he must have already, maybe, I don't know if it's in this line, but definitely it's an idea that he has toyed around with. Maybe, who knows, maybe he wants the knight to be on c4 for some specific, exactly, for some specific reason, and he doesn't mind dropping that tempo.
Yeah.
Look, at this stage, it's very difficult to sort of, I feel, just make an analysis just like that with words, because, you know, there's so much preparation behind it. It may not necessarily, as I say, be exactly the same position, maybe some changes here and there, but it's all linked with ideas that has been prepared, I think, at home. So very interesting.
Yeah, one would expect Dominguez still knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Bishop a4. And here comes an interesting decision. Bishop takes knight. What to? Okay, so black is somewhat damaging the white structure.
Yes.
But you don't see the top GMs do this all the time, give up a bishop for a knight, right?
No, but, you know, for me, this bishop takes c4 in this position. I know in some other thing, I think Nakamura didn't like this move,
Yeah.
But for me, you know, if you look, especially old Soviet school masters, how they used to play, they always wanted to define a structure, and they wanted the structures defined to be at least positionally to their advantage. And then they can start playing around there, and because the ideas are, it's clear what you have to do. And I think in this game, we will see that actually it was clear what Dominguez had to do, but the method then of how to do it was difficult. But you have a clear direction, right?
Yeah.
And that is because the structure is defined. And so for me, I like this idea of taking on c4, and we can
follows it up with knight h5.
Exactly.
Okay.
There's no, you know, it's closed, and you know. So yeah.
Okay, I must say, Hans is not compromising here, and he plays a bold move, g4. Opening up his king a bit.
It shows a lot of confidence. This g4, because why I'm saying that. Look, we looked at this game before, and it shows really though that after g4, in all honesty, black is slightly better. So it's not preparation. That's what I'm saying from Hans. It's not home preparation. So then you have to admire his fighting, right? I mean, he really, he's going for it. And
you know what? Just looking at the position, though, I mean, if you don't play g4, what do you play for white here? But you go knight h2 maybe or something.
Or knight f4 then, right?
Yeah. So I guess, I mean, black has got some active play, seemingly. So I guess this was what Dominguez was aiming for, but Hans, steers it now into this direction where it's a bit unclear. And to me, this seemed at first sight a bit puzzling. Knight f6 drops back.
Well, Jamie, let's go back before g4. Like, before
g4.
G4.
Right?
Yeah, like let's say bishop takes c6.
Okay.
b6, and knight takes e5.
Knight takes e5.
Well, we established that.
The knight is a typical idea, right?
Yeah, to take. Because if you play queen h4, I could probably play knight g4 or knight d3.
Yes, covering f2. What should black do here?
It looks dangerous for white, for sure.
Oh, I think something like this. This is what I think the engine is going to recommend. I think, is this the right moment? Maybe not. It's maybe not the right moment.
It is. Bishop takes f4. Yes, if bishop takes f4, d takes e5, and then if you play queen takes d8.
No, this is not the right moment, I think, right?
But it is. You take, and then can't you play rook d2 then afterwards?
d2 and takes, and
bishop d2.
Black's got, there we go.
You got counterplay.
There we go.
Yeah. So very interesting.
Knight f4 is a bit of I spotted this with the engine.
Yeah, this is a very difficult move to find. But so we see why he didn't play this in this line. Hans.
So he does go g4. G4, knight f6 back.
Yeah.
Big question, of course, what about knight f4? If knight f4, we're gonna have to chop off this knight, right?
Yeah.
We have to chop off the knight.
Yeah.
Maybe chop off this one.
C6.
Otherwise, he's getting to e5 perhaps.
Yes.
And yeah, what to do?
Yeah, I remember we looked at this before, and we were thinking that knight d4 would be the way. We thought so, right? We're going to f5 and attacking c6, but the computer then just said takes
cold-bloodedly just gives white the center,
and then play rook e8, and after queen f3 go queen g5. And I guess the computer's argument is that you are not able to really extend as white. And if you think about it, it's black. It's easier to play for black because rook b8. If you play some bit later on, I can maybe play a4.
You have c5,
and this and that. So it's not ideally what white would go for. So then let's go back then and say. So the question would be then, if not knight d4, but then maybe possible like a very concrete computer variation was king g2. Yeah, first.
King g2.
Yes. Idea is that if rook e8 to go queen a4. Very interesting idea. Hitting the weakness, and the plan now being to play something like e5. And have a look at that queen. It's sitting beautifully because you can never play. Well, now you cannot anyway. But anytime you play some d5 even in preparation, I'll take an f4 is then under fire. Yeah, and here I can play rook d1, rook e4.
Black's queen is a bit tied down.
Yeah. And the bishop is a little bit of an observer.
He doesn't know what his destiny is.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And I think white has got something here. Yeah. So
some pressure over
So hence g4 is actually even a very nice move. Yeah,
because enticing black to play knight f4.
Yeah, he's evaluated this stuff. Okay.
But Dominguez plays the calm and collected knight f6.
Knight f6.
And Hans continues to storm.
Yes.
With g5.
He's storming right here.
And I think this is such an interesting moment, Watu, because I think Dominguez took. But besides taking and going into the pin, there's this interesting move, knight h5.
Yes, knight h5 is extremely interesting, and the variations are quite amazing.
First of all, I mean, if white becomes greedy, then I think we do something like g6 is interesting.
Yeah, we had looked at g6 that, black would play g6 and black is out of immediate danger. F6, yeah, and maybe some king h7 and this looks fine.
White's king is more exposed.
Exactly, but the computer finds even the queen f6 was it here in this position?
Queen f6, yeah. Wow,
what a move! What a nice move! And all of a sudden we see then that white's position is starting to be very dangerous, and the bishop on a4 is not sure what to do.
I just want to see that takes, and then actually just queen takes check, and the king can't go in.
Because I will take on the pawn on f2 is so important, because once you lose that f2 pawn, all your squares become a problem.
Interesting stuff.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So very, very cool line there. So knight h5 was actually super interesting.
Yes.
Besides taking, actually, what else can white do? White can maybe. So the thing is, this is also hanging over there. So we also looked at something like knight e5, but black has a very, very cool line here. Knight takes e5, and if queen takes h5, then we take on g5.
Right.
And white cannot take on g5 yet, as we have the marvelous queen takes g5.
Yes.
We have a lovely family fork over there.
Beautiful.
But I'm pretty sure Hans would have noticed that bishop c6, removing the knight first.
Yes.
And then you have this. And this is, to me, actually a very cool line that the engine is recommending. The knight f4 idea. Yeah, I'm not sure about the previous line, if it's exactly the same.
Maybe that line it works.
Could possibly work,
I think here it's a very cool move.
Because now black doesn't want to take because white is storming.
Yes.
But now knight f4, wow. Asking to take, and now white cannot take here because we have queen g5 check.
Yes.
So you have to trade first, and takes,
and then
we have repeat.
Yeah.
Very nice idea.
Very.
Okay, so coming back. So g5 was played. Very cool lines with knight h5.
Yes.
But it needed to be calculated way outright. So Dominguez takes. Bishop takes. White's got the pin. And black is technically still okay.
Yes.
Black structure is better for sure.
Definitely.
But black now needs to find a method to exploit it, right?
You know, and the thing about the structure, if you think about it, you know, this is now going back to the issue of studying classical games and letting the brain be familiar with such structures. Because I will even go ahead and speculate that if somebody like Magnus Carlsen had the black pieces, he would have been more in tune to finding this idea, because he lets the classical games influence him much more than anyone else, right? If you think about this position, and there's so many games, I mean, Rubinstein played, for example, in Karlsbad, 1907 against Duras. He played against Janowski, right? Later on, the game you were mentioning, Botvinnik against Panov,
yes.
89.
Yeah.
So that the pin is a little bit of a nuisance. I'm going to attack. My piece are a bit on the other side. So Queen E7 in this Watu move. The idea is to play 98, 96.
Get rid of that bishop, so to speak.
Yes.
And also, just to the viewers out there, what is referring to these classic games, but it's a different opening, right? It's not the same opening.
It's not.
That E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6.
It's the 4 knights.
With the 4 knights and then bishop B5,
bishop B4.
Yeah. So this, I think we've got something here. King H2, if white continues in an aggressive fashion, you see in 98, kicking the bishop, and black can, okay, knight F4 is available, but black can even go G6, King G7, rook H8.
And attack.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice. So those knights are doing great stuff, and that's a typical maneuver in those classic games.
Absolutely.
So, but okay, Dominguez plays Queen C8. Doesn't throw it away, but he doesn't go for this maneuver.
Now, let's go back to, we were Queen C8.
Yeah.
We were looking and we were saying, well, why is Dominguez allowing Bishop
F6? Yes.
And, well, we thought of this very interesting idea. Queen takes H3. And now, okay, Bishop H4 is a very logical.
The bishop, you need to save the bishop, right?
Yeah. And we were thinking about F5 in this position. And we said, okay, look, F5 would possibly...
It's scary.
It's scary. And black is definitely attacking. And I think the computer says black is only slightly better, but you have to be so accurate just to be slightly worse.
Yeah, I mean, if I have this position with the white,
I'll be shaking. I'm thinking I'm dying.
Yes.
Okay? But the computer finds another move, Calvin.
So F5 looks nice.
Beautiful move. Computer finds F6.
I mean,
to play G5.
To play G5, and the point is the bishop is trapped, right?
And the king can't move out of the pin.
So, I mean, if white just plays some move, G5, bishop G3, you take the bishop. Wow. Wow. That's computer chess for you right there.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, brilliant.
Right? So,
just by the way, if bishop G5, of course, we have queen G3 check.
Yeah. Then we take on F2 and yeah. He's definitely not, at least not disrupting us and So
Dominguez dangled some carrot there, right?
Yeah, so he calculates these ideas.
And in turn, Hans dangles his own carrot over there. King H2, and F2 is hanging.
Yes.
Says he's not interested in taking on F6 just yet.
Yes.
Of course, very aggressive intentions with G5.
Absolutely.
H2, and black doesn't take on F2. I just asked the question. I posed the question.
But both players must have looked at why not bishop takes F2. I mean, this is clear, right?
But okay, momentum-wise, black is not doing much, right?
Yes.
You play a normal move like this. The F file is open. Bishop doesn't have any great squares. So black basically opened up the file here, and initially I mentioned something like knight H4, and the pawn is too strong, but there's no more pawn.
Yes.
It's a knight H4 just once. This is chop of the knight this time.
Yes.
There's no queen takes H3.
Yeah, and just like H4.
Okay, now it's clear. Knight's landing on F5, and
the game is over. By the way, in that game, in that variation, if you go, let's go back, bishop takes F2. If you go rook F1, can I not play knight takes E4?
E4.
Okay, it looks dangerous, but okay. how do we punish? Is bishop
C2 maybe?
2.
And if you take on G5, I'm mating with Queen H5.
Yeah. Knight takes Queen H5 is coming.
It's possible. Is there some F5 here?
F5
seems interesting.
Well, Queen D5 checking to the
H5 and then chop on E4
take
twice.
on E4 twice.
And then F2 still hanging.
Yeah, it looks dangerous, but look, you'd have to calculate it. But
a lot of stuff happening.
A lot, but it looks like white is better.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right for black to be snatching up on it.
Does not.
King H2, Knight H7. Okay, keeping the structure intact here. But now white is just building up the play, basically.
Yes.
And from here on in, Hans really plays really well. And,
yes, I think now but this is what happens. I mean, in a game, you have a game where both sides have their chances, but then the one side gets their ideal position, but it is still up to that player to prove that whether they can bring it. And how Hans plays here is very impressive.
Yeah. He's building up his forces towards the king side.
Yeah.
And the next move is quite mysterious, Watu.
That move impressed. You see, of all these moves that I see from Hans, this move, C5, is what tells me that, you know what, this guy is definitely going to be a force. I mean, he's definitely going to be the best player in the US. And we are all then interested to see how is he going to handle the Indians, because the Indians are going to always be the main guys, and how is he going to fight? I think that's like, we're talking now about, let's say, 5 years from now, 5 years more, right? I think because C5 it was so mysterious for a while, and then
black doesn't really have a choice.
Yes.
You're trying to figure out, is it maybe the diagonal that you want to use with the bishop, or what it is? But
but after H4, we then realize that it's actually to give the tools for the queen and to loosen E5.
To loosen E5, yeah. If you
Very
look at
deep idea.
the continuation of the game, it will make a lot more sense. Hans actually gives out the tools for the queen.
Exactly.
Black does not accept.
Yeah.
And the point is that after this, you have Knight E5.
Exactly.
That wasn't there if you didn't play C5. Exactly. So he had foreseen this whole
very nice
line
very
to hit the dark squares. And by the way, just Knight H4 is also good, but Knight E5 and the king is too exposed. Even though black has the 2 rooks for the queen, his pieces are.
They're not coordinating.
The king is exposed, right? Yeah. So very nice, very deep. So C5, and white just continues to steamroll. This point, B5, black is trying to pretend like he's doing something on that side, and Queen F3.
For me, I like Knight G5 because it's more like you are exchanging a defender.
One of the main defenders, right?
Yeah. And the other piece are left out there. Look at this. Oof.
Yeah, he's hanging, right?
Beautiful move, and the king has got no defender.
And he finishes it off in style and goes Rook E8. So Queen E8 and then Queen F6, and there's nothing to do, right?
Yes.
So brilliant game by Hans. Hans is definitely showing that he has not stopped his rampage when it comes to improvement. And
definitely.
He's truly trying to storm the chess capital.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's interesting because didn't they ban him from St. Louis a couple of
Yeah, I think he wasn't really he wasn't getting invited to all of these events. Everything is happening. Imagine everything is happening in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Chess wise.
Yeah.
And he wasn't getting invited to these events, and of course he wasn't happy about it. He wasn't happy about it publicly, and now of course. You are forced to invite him to the US Championships.
He's storming the capital.
So now this guy is storming the capital. So interesting stuff. Hans is half point behind the leader, Caruana.
Yeah.
So
let's see what's going to happen.
Let's see what's going to happen. We will try to keep you updated, everyone. If you liked the update on the US Championships, do throw in a comment over there. Throw in a like. Tell us what you want to see. And we certainly hope you enjoyed today's commentary on the game, and we will see you for the next one. Is that enough nonsense, Watu?
That's enough nonsense for today.
Cheers, guys. See you next time.